Hey everybody, Jeff here, Aromatics. It's been a little while since I've done something pipe related. It's just the cold weather. I don't mind smoking. I do smoke in the cold weather, but I feel guilty with these drab backdrops. So I just feel like I'm not giving the quality that I should. Not that my videos are that great. Anyway, but if you guys don't care about the video quality, I usually like to have, in the summertime I'm fishing or I'm on a location, or at least I have some flowers or something nice in the background, right? But if you guys don't mind, I'll keep pumping out videos during this cold, drab weather. No problem there. So today I will be reviewing a blend that I found while I was reorganizing all my tobaccos. Now that I have a lot of cigar leaf to deal with, I have to reorganize everything, and I came across a real old for me, jar of Baren #1 Virginia. And I also have some Salt Lift Sweet Virginia, which I think is very similar. So if you guys want me to do a comparison between the two, they're the same age, I got them at the same time, let me know. But today I'll be reviewing the Virginia #1 by Baren. Now, when I first got the tobacco, I was new to smoking, and I couldn't get a lot of flavors out of Virginia, and especially Baren's #1, because it's notorious for being napalm on the tongue to a lot of people, and I was no exception to that. So that particular blend probably has about 7 or 8 years on it, so it's definitely aged. And I've got my pipe here loaded up with it. Now I smelled the tin, and it's got that, kind of a creamy hay, slightly plummy smell to it. Almost like an Escudo is what it kind of reminds me of, even though there's no preak in it, and there is an Escudo. So I've got my not homemade, but my Bulldog pipe with the homemade stem on there, because the old one got chewed up. And I've got it loaded up, and let's light up and see what we're tasting. So now that I'm a little more of a mature smoker, I haven't smoked this either since I got it, so that's been like, about 7 years ago. And a lot has changed since then. That age has made a big difference. Now, has it made it for the better? We'll see here in a minute. So the big difference I noticed right away is it is much sweeter, way creamier. When you first get it, like fresh, I remember it being sharp. It's kind of got a hay taste to it, a little bit of honey. And by the way, it's just a pure, I think bright Virginia is what it is, or a mix of bright Virginias with a slight maybe topping of honey or sugar water. So I remember it not being that flavorful at the time, but that could have been just because I was new to, as a pipe smoker. Virginias take a little bit of a mature palate to really get the full flavors out of them, especially without burning your tongue. So there is a sweetness to it, and I have to, it kind of reminds me of, it tastes kind of like a Scudo too. Scudo, or maybe even, if you've ever smoked the Peter Stokkebye's Luxury Bullseye Flake, that's got like about over 5 years age on it, and it's really kind of sweetened and kind of plummy. Kind of reminds me of that. It's probably just below medium in strength, as far as, not nicotine, but as far as flavor. As far as I can tell, there's no bite anymore. But to be honest, it's almost too sweet now for me. It reminds me of, now I know a lot of people, you will probably like this. It has this like, it's kind of sickly sweet to me in the way that a Boston cream donut is. It's got that pudding, like it's really creamy and sweet, but it's almost like makes me gag. It's got this, it's just not the sweetness that I like, and it's just those rough edges that it used to have are really rounded off. But I actually like a little bit of a rough edge. Now, I'm not saying that I like raw tobacco, but I do like say opening night. It's got those kind of rough edges, but at the same time, it's not harsh. I find it's still got those nice bright tastes. It's got a good hay, it's got a good sweetness, but it's not necessarily harsh. But I'm sure to most of you that you would really appreciate this with some age. It definitely rounds off the edges, gives it a sweetness, takes that bite away. And there, on the other side, there still is that kind of a cigarette-y taste to it, but it's a real creamy, like kind of like a bite to it. Hard to explain. Nothing on the retrohale. Overall, not a bad smoke. I like it better than I liked it fresh in the way that it doesn't bite, but it still doesn't suit. It doesn't. It's still not quite my. It's just too kind of the wrong kind of sweetness for me. Just too round, too like a pudding. Like it just kind of gag. It kind of has a slight gag taste to me. But I think that's what most like. A lot of people like pudding. A lot of people like Boston cream donuts, right? So, all the power to you. But so I'm sure most people that like Virginias would really appreciate this. But for me, fresh, it's a little bit too sharp or too bitey, and not a lot of taste. And aged, it's just a little bit too sweet. But that's my take on Virginia #1. And if you guys are interested, I'll compare it to Sutliff's Sweet Virginia. And I think they're both actually sourced from McBaren. So. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Hope you guys enjoyed my review, and I'll see you on my next one. Till then, aromatics. Peace.